Hello, my name is Virginia Thierman, and I'm the Curator of Historic Textiles at the Charleston Museum in Charleston, South Carolina. We have a collection of over 200 quilts, including 182 full quilts and several large portions and fragments. The earliest pieces are palempours and whiteworks from the 18th century, and the most recent include a 1994 Baltimore album quilt and a 2000s wall hanging. Today I'm telling the story of the Charleston Battery Scene, a quilt panel made circa 1840, most likely by Martha Cannon Webb Logan. As a new resident of Charleston, it's one of my favorite pieces in our collection because it's almost like a cultural map of the 19th century city. The quilt was featured in a 1990 Los Angeles County Museum of Art exhibition, Wrapped in Glory, Figurative Quilts and Bed Covers 1700 to 1900, and has some wonderful photography in this book, written by Sandy Fox, if you're interested in learning more about the quilt. Measuring 17 feet, the paneled pieces were probably intended to be a quilt border, though it was never finished. Even some of the pieces were distributed among family members and cut apart, but fortunately were later reassembled into one complete work before it was donated to the museum. The far left end shows views of the busy Charleston harbor, including ships of all sizes, from large three-masted vessels to small sailing craft. This portion is quite intricate, showing the various ropes on the larger ships, as well as rigging, flags, and even anchors. It gives a similar effect as paintings and etchings of the harbor at the time. The next panel shows different styles of carriages and their occupants. Here, pattern and color is utilized to separate foreground and background, with depth created among the carriage wheels by using brighter, more saturated patterns at the front and duller, more quiet patterns for the back side of the carriage. We can also see a sense of what they would have been wearing inside these carriages from fashion plates of the period, including outerwear and soft hats. The next panel shows recreations of household items, including an urn very similar to one depicted in a Charleston newspaper ad by silversmith John Ewan in 1835. This section also includes cultural items like tea sets and musical instruments, perhaps showing a slice of Martha Cannon Webb Logan's daily life. The final section at the right end is filled with depictions of local architecture, including the Henry Laurens Mansion in blue and what is identifiable as the Pinckney Mansion with its grand columns and pediment at the far right corner. There's even the occasional goat tossed in amongst the houses, which makes for a fun addition. My favorite part of this panel is that even the littlest of the window panes have curtains in them, giving a sense of peering into daily life in Charleston. Overall, the Charleston Battery Scene is an amazing work of figural applique quilting. The attention to detail, color, pattern, and sense of depth is awe-inspiring and allows for a new discovery upon each examination. Martha Cannon Webb Logan gives us insight into Charleston as she saw it, a textile artist working in her own terms. It feels very personal, as if it's a map or a diary entry to her version of the city. Thank you so much for joining me for this museum show and share of the Charleston Battery Scene quilt. I look forward to welcoming all of you for quilt research and study at the Charleston Museum.